Coming up is my chat with Steve Tchoumba, manager, Active Spaces Cameroon. Stay with us.
Technology, it's a great opportunity for Africa. Great opportunity. That is not even arguable. You can't argue that. It's a great opportunity because it opens Africans to the rest of the world. Okay, so that's one thing, and it's amazing. It's a great opportunity because we're able, for example, you're able to have an entrepreneur here in Lagos selling products or services around the world. You're able to scale up businesses to reach an amazing amount of people. And to me, that offers Africa a great opportunity. And there's no question.
So why does this seem like we've not been able to handle some of our own issues? Is it a problem of capacity? I mean, what do you think?
I think we've done well. We need to give ourselves some credit, And in regards to that, one thing that I like to say is this. This is new for us, okay? It's new for us. The Americas and the Europe, they have been at it since the 40s, and perhaps even before that. If you look at some statistics, in 2010, there were probably about 2-3 incubators on the whole of the continent. Today, great work has been done. We have about 200, 400, 500. The report by Brighter Bridges talks about, I think, 644 incubators on the continent today. But, go back just 10 years ago, there was about 5. So look at the progress that we've already made in 10 years. So I think we're making a lot of progress. But there are a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems. But we need to give ourselves time. We need to, we need to train. We need to build capacity.
Tell us a bit about the Cameroonian technology ecosystem, how it has fared and the journey so far.
So we are Active Spaces. We are one of the first incubators, perhaps the first tech incubators in the country. And again, we've seen how the ecosystem has grown from Limbe to Boya to Douala to Silicon Mountain that we've all heard about, and so there's a lot of things that have happened in Cameroon. We've had fantastic entrepreneurs. You've probably heard of Gifted Mom from Alentaf, who's making change in people's lives. So we've made great progress, but there's still a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do in the building capacity, a lot of work to do in policies, a lot of work to do in investment, a lot of work to do in cooperation.
So what do you say would be some of the positives that have come out of the ecosystem?
Some of the positive things that have happened that technology has done for Cameroon. So let's talk maybe in terms of even mobile money, okay? Mobile money, internet penetration is huge in Cameroon. Smartphones penetration is huge in Cameroon. We've had services. This particular one service that comes to mind is paying government stamps, where they've implemented a digital solution for stamps in Cameroon, which is a great solution for the government. Now the government can know exactly when people are paying their stamps here and there, and that it's really interesting for the government. We've had startups like Alentaf, I was telling you, who has developed a platform to give information, prenatal and postnatal care information to mothers. And that is changing lives in the health sector. So, yes. And these companies, I mentioned Gifted Mom, is recruiting recently about 50 young Cameroonians. And so creating jobs as well. So that's some of the positives. We've gone from 2 incubators today to about 23 in the whole country. Not a lot, but it's already something. We've recently launched an organization called Khmer Tech, which is another next step to get all of these incubators together, to work together and finding solutions for innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. That is positive.
Now the challenges. What are some of the challenges? Why do you think the ecosystem hasn't grown the way it should grow?
We attended recently the AFILAB conference, and I really enjoyed our first keynote speaker, Mr. Celestin Monga, who said Africa has 4 deficits. It mentioned deficit of knowledge, deficit of conflict resolution, deficit of leadership, and deficit of self-esteem. I mean, I could stop here and say those are our problem. Those are the reasons why we don't grow. But like I said in the beginning, I think we're growing. We need to give ourselves some credit. But if I was going to tie it down to one thing, I would say, look, our leadership needs to understand. The way we understand the importance of technology, our leaders need to understand and not fear technology. And once we've done that, once they've understood the good and the positive things that this can bring for our economy and for our population, then we'll start putting in place strategies to develop. We need to rethink our educational system. So, for example, people talk about bringing technology in education. It's not about using a computer in a classroom. Then you say, well, you know what, we've integrated technology in our educational system. It's about really going to the fundamentals and saying, okay, how can we really integrate technology in our educational systems so that it's not just about using a computer?
Steve, would bring me to my last question. I mean, you talked about French speaking, and there's also English speaking, there's Portuguese, there's Spanish. How can we use technology and innovation to bring about greater integration across Africa?
Look, I think technology is already doing it in so many other ways, okay? Unfortunately, sometimes technology coming from America, almost every African today uses WhatsApp to communicate. We share pictures and images. We share each other's cultures through WhatsApp and Facebook. We learn about other people's culture. We start to understand them. And that's what technology is capable of doing. We need to be able to really dive in. And this is why we need to encourage our young to develop those kind of applications that can apply. And I mean, it's already even technology. I met a young entrepreneur from Côte d'Ivoire who is developing African emojis, all right? And young people are starting to use that to express themselves and sharing their cultures. Now imagine when that application will cross borders, and that now the Cameroonians or the Nigerians will start using those emojis created by an Ivorian entrepreneurs to express their emotions, and that's the beauty of technology. Through a music application that we're developing in Cameroon called Colorful, you could listen to Nigerian traditional music whilst you're in Cameroon, and that gives you a kind of insight into how Nigerians enjoy music and vice versa. And that's what technology, and we need that. We can't just expect Africans to get along because they are Africans, so they should get along. But we need to start exchanging, and platforms that technology offers can enable us to start even understanding each other.
I have been chatting with Steve Tchoumba of Active Spaces Cameroon, who believes that African governments ought to take full advantage of technology and work closely with innovation hubs that are scattered across the continent. No foreign government or agency can truly develop Africa on behalf of Africans. What will make up all of these opportunities depends on the decisions various countries make today. But one thing is clear: the young innovators and techies out there are resolute and are constantly finding solutions to various problems. This is where we draw the curtain on this edition of the show. But it doesn't end here. The conversation continues online. We are at Tech Trends TV on social media, and also watch the show on Channels TV YouTube page or via cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwuemeka Agbata.